how are we doing today, guys? We're going to come back today with another episode of Scott's Quick Cash Class. Today we're talking about psychology and some money mistakes and how to avoid them. I'm sure we've all been there. I'm sure we've all spent money and then, maybe 24 hours, maybe a day, a couple days later, maybe it's a year later, we've been like, man, why did I spend money on that? Well, we're going to talk a little bit of maybe some of the things that go behind that, and maybe some tips to help you prevent that. So one of the biggest things, and a lot of this can be related to eating, not that this is an eating channel, but a lot of the same similarities between people who have bad money habits and people who overeat. So use that what you will. So one of the first things is dopamine, right? We all get a little excited when we buy that new shiny object, whether that's, a new cell phone, new car, new pair of Jordans that come out, maybe it's new thing of jewelry, whatever that is. When we go out and we as soon as we can, we instantly go out and buy it, we get that dopamine hit and it makes us feel better temporarily. The other thing that we do is, they call it revenge spending, but, essentially you go out and spend money when you're in a bad mood, or maybe maybe something bad happened to you, or maybe you're anticipating something bad happen and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out and maybe it's your favorite drink at your local bar, or maybe it's an energy drink. It doesn't have to be something super expensive, but you're spending money to make yourself feel better because something bad's gonna happen, and that's not good either. So another reason why we spend money is we want to show off, right? So maybe we got that promotion at work, or maybe we just got a little bit of inheritance money, or maybe we got some other large check, maybe we sold something, and instead of, rolling that money over into a good investment or paying off some debt, we're like, I want to go flex a little bit, right? I'm going to show everybody else that I made it. Well, the problem with that is all you're doing is just showing yourself that you didn't make it, because you're spending money on things you don't necessarily need. And here, I know I struggle with this. I was excited. I finally felt like I got to a certain financial level, and so I always wanted a BMW. I sold cars when I was younger. My family sold cars, so cars were always kind of one of the things that was involved in our lives, and I always was enamored with BMWs. I thought they were a good looking car. The styling was good, they're comfortable, they're fast. So when I finally had enough money to get one, I got a BMW, a 750, which is kind of like the Big Mac Daddy, and I was all excited about it, thought I got a good deal on it. Well, shortly after I got it, I come to find out that this car was a bucket. Now, maybe I got the worst BMW ever built, but I definitely got it for numerous reasons. I got it, for the dopamine hit. I got it to flex. I wasn't actually going through the best time of my life at that point, and so getting that car kind of made me feel better about myself and the decisions that I had been making, when in fact all I did was just double down on a dumb decision. And it didn't take me that long to begin to regret my decision. I didn't fully regret it till a few years down the road, but I definitely did start to regret that decision. And I didn't make that decision. I didn't make that decision with a clear head. And I guess that's one of the things that I'm trying to talk to you about. So some statistics is 51% of Gen Z regret making a purchase within 24 hours. So that's like almost instant karma of like, yep, made a bad decision. Research shows that emotional shoppers spend up to 30% more monthly than logical planners, right? So if you're just randomly going out and like, hey, I'm gonna get this, or I feel like getting this, I feel like this, versus someone that sits down and plans their purchases, you're gonna spend 30% more. And then Harvard did a study, we always like when they do studies, that if you have training in emotional regulation, you're going to reduce your financial mistakes by 32%. So, not saying that you'll completely eliminate them, but one thing that I've kind of tried to adopt, and one thing that I've been talking to you guys about, it's about changing your behaviors, and even if that's a small percentage, it will eventually lead to bigger things, right? So just little changes, and hopefully some of these points that I bring up can help. So let's get back to question of the day, tip of the day, and then we'll get you out of here. Question of the day: what emotional state causes you to spend the most? When you're bored, lonely, stressed, angry, hungry? I know hungry is a big one for somebody in my family. So that being said, just keep track of that. When do you feel like spending money the most? And I'm not talking about paying your electric bill or paying your car payment, but like that discretionary miscellaneous money. When do you feel like spending that? What kind of mood are you in? Keep track of that maybe for the next 30 days. See if you can find something that'll help you out. And then tip of the day, create a buy later list, and wait every time you want something, put it on that list and wait 72 hours before you make that purchase. I guarantee you, if you do that, you'll stop spending as much money. You're still gonna buy some of those things, but I guarantee you'll stop buying as many as you originally had if you just went and swiped. So thanks for watching. If you got some questions for us, make sure you put them in the comments. Hit a like if you liked what you heard. Subscribe every day. We got new 5-minute videos coming out to help increase your financial literacy. And like always, we're never going to sell anything. We're just here to help. Till next time.